Is it possible that your mother lied, that your father lied, that your preacher lied, that your grandmother don't know jack from shit when she flaps her lips on how Jesus died? I don't plan to offend or dish your family with the facts and writing, but condescension is a monster within. That means I question a lot. That means I don't take your face at face value. Let alone that breath we can talk. It's not about stupid or smart.
Alright, time for a Q&A session 2. This one I'm going to address something that has been brought up several times in a lot of my videos, particularly by Godson Al 1986. He's referenced it once or twice. A couple of commenters and a couple of folks, I think on Blog TV or Blog Talk Radio, whatever, and on Facebook. And it's apparent that theists, particularly Christians, have no idea who atheists, agnostics, freethinkers, the entire group, have no idea what we're about, what we do, and it's a lot of misconceptions, and it's really indicative of what we as freethinkers talk about, because the world is just, they're so jaded, I think is a good word, toward the world that they can't see anything unbiasedly. And I had a long, very extended conversation with a good Christian friend of mine that I went to school with, and me and him go back and forth, not giving each other hardly any ground, because I keep pointing out that he cannot see anything unbiasedly because of his religious views. Now, as a human being, it's really hard for us to see anything completely unbiased. We're going to have some subjectivity projected at whatever we perceive. But of course, it's us. You know, there's going to be some of our own experiences and, you know, some innate qualities that allow us to view things in a certain manner. That what makes us different. But Christianity is very interesting because it doesn't have the innate quality to be humble in any sense of the meaning. It puts itself up there as the most divine and correct, the only way of doing anything, especially moral. So we'll get into that bit later. But let me just clear the air if some Christians have no idea what it's like to be an atheist or agnostic, and they just spout nonsense most of the time. At the core, a person is a skeptic. Every person. I don't care how religious you say you are a skeptic. You are a thinking human being. Now, I've met people who have turned off that skepticism or have hidden it very well, but at some degree you question. That's just a part of your human nature. No amount of Hail Marys and Amens and Hallelujahs is going to change that. Sorry, it doesn't work like that. You just can't turn off human nature. That's just like trying to turn off your ability to piss. It's not going to work. You could try, that'd be funny. Your bladder will rupture, but hey, it's religion. You're going to hurt yourself eventually. So, at the base, most, not all, I'm not generalizing, most agnostics, atheists, and I split them up for a reason because they sometimes stigma one than the other, are free thinkers. They are open to other ideas. They're not stagnant in any way, shape, or form. Now there's different subcategories you could apply yourself, but in general, agnostic, atheist. But at the core, most of us are what you would consider humanist. Most of us, not all. Some of us don't give a shit. They just want to be to themselves and don't believe in a God, which is fine. But at the core, the vast majority, like Matt Dillahunty, Sam Harris, Neil Tyson, myself, I would consider myself a humanist. And the definition, I'm going to read this from the magical Google machine just to make sure I'm right. An outlook or system of thought attaching prime importance to human rather than divine or supernatural matters. So we actually care about people, not magical shit, not hocus pocus, not poof everything was there, not golden domes, magic toasters, 72 virgins. Well, some of us care about virgins. You know, lakes of golden honey, like pits of fire, magical shit that you would see in Dungeons and Dragons. You know, it's fairly simple. We care about each other no matter, race, creed, ethnicity, country, whatever. We want to see our neighbor, whether they're next door, whether they're across seas, be cared for. Now, of course, Christians want to monopolize on this and pretend they're the only ones, so they'll object to this definition wholeheartedly, because then that means that there are other people who actually care about folks. But see, the thing is, with a humanist, ours isn't conditional. You don't have to throw away your culture or what you believe in for us to care about you. Now you're saying, hold on for a second, how are you an atheist? You reject God, but then you say you want to care for everybody. Wouldn't that be conditional if you were dealing with a Christian? Well, no. We want Christian. Well, if you're at least anti-theist, don't like religion, and most would like to abolish it because it is so harmful. And I do understand that sentiment. But those of us who are not anti-theist could care less. I personally want you to practice your religion. If you want to believe in bullshit, then fine. That's your choice. I just don't want it to affect my life. But I'm not going to just say, well, because you're Christian, then fuck you. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to not care for your well-being. I'm not, you're a less of a person to me. No, that's not how humanism works. So that begs the question then, so what does an atheist, it's a piety, what does an atheist gain from deconverting people? Nothing. We just want to make people think. That's really it. If you think, it makes the world a better place. Thinking people make innovation. They get creative. They aren't stagnant. The more creative thinking people we have, the better society we'll have. That's how we have all this cool stuff you call technology. The really dogmatic and simple-minded people are folks like Westboro Baptist, and you don't see them creating any iPods, do you? No, I'm being silly. But seriously, how can a person with such a narrow-minded worldview innovate? It contradicts itself. So we want to get people just to think outside the box, for a lack of a better term, to be cliche. That's what we gain. So before you as a Christian or a Muslim or a Jew say that, oh, atheists are just trying to deconvert everybody so we can all become atheists, I don't give a shit if you do or don't. I just want you to think. I don't gain anything at all. There's no promise to be closer to my deity when I die. Honestly. Think about next time you say some shit like that when atheists want to deconvert people. Think, what do you really gain? As a Christian, once when I considered myself a Christian person, then I thought I was doing the right thing and to bring people closer to God, and that made me feel warm inside. Now, if I make somebody think, I get a warm and fuzzy because it's like, well, I just helped teach somebody something. They can throw it away or they can chew on it and they can spit it back at me and, in a different form and make it sound a little bit better. I don't know, but that's where I get a warm and fuzzy from, because I might learn something from them later on. Is that a bad thing? I mean, if that's going to send me to a lake of fire, then fuck, why not? Let's do it. Hookers and cocaine for everybody.
Don't just go with the breeze. Have you chosen a creed, or has it been chosen for you? Just think about that. Serious.